They must do. I can see why it's like the #1 thing to do in Athens. Like, you'd be silly not to. And it's definitely been like the most surprising thing of today. And it is the one with the muses from Hercules, which I'm a Disney nerd, so I'm very excited about that. Hello from Athens for the last time. Today is our last morning in Greece, so we have one day here, so just 24 hours to see everything we possibly can. So we're starting off with the one and only Acropolis. It's not the one and only, there are many Acropolises, but the Athens Acropolis, which is like one of the main reasons people come to Athens. So it's on top of a hill, like most Acropolises, and it is 20 euros to get in, including the Theatre of Dionysus, as well as the Acropolis building on top. This is one I've wanted to come to most because it's very well intact, and it is the one with the muses from Hercules, which I'm a Disney nerd, so I'm very excited about that. But we're starting here at the Theatre of Dionysus, which is right here. This is definitely the most intact theatre we've seen. I haven't seen one with the wall in front of it. And I think they still use this one too, which is amazing. Imagine coming here for a play, it's crazy. And get a cool view of the city. I was a bit concerned that when we were leaving the Acropolis to last, like out of all of the different Acropolises we've done, that the Acropolis of Athens would be underwhelming. I was wrong. I'm actually really glad we left it to last. We definitely saved the best to last. They've spent more money restoring it, so like it's much more immersive being there, and it's massive, it's huge. You get to walk all around and you don't have to use your imagination hardly at all because it's all pretty well restored. Definitely a must do. I can see why it's like the #1 thing to do in Athens. Like, you'd be silly not to. Get here early because the crowds get insane, and it's also very, very hot. I'm starting to look forward to going back to London, and it's very mild weather because this is crazy, and there's not a lot of shade, so make sure you have water, and yeah, get here early. So now we're going to head to the Acropolis Museum because it's getting too hot, so we're going to go inside and get some air conditioning and some knowledge. So we're finishing up at the Acropolis Museum. It is very good history. It's like A+ history. They have a really informative video at the top, which I loved because it was like a bit more immersive and like telling you like relevancy and context of everything. But most importantly, they have air conditioning, which has been amazing. So definitely worth stopping by because I think it adds a lot of context to what you've seen. I think doing the Acropolis first and then this makes sense. One, temperature-wise, you can do that when it's cold and then come in here. Secondly, you see it all and then you come in here and see what it used to look like and what it was used for, and it just adds more context before heading up there. You can do it either way, I suppose. Now, one thing Greece is known for, and Daniel was particularly keen for, is that they were the country that invented the Olympics. So Daniel being sporty person, sports boy, jock, we're going to head to the first ever stadium of the modern Olympics. As we've discussed yesterday when we drove all around the hills of Greece, different Olympia versus other stadiums. This one's the first one of the modern Olympics, so should be pretty cool. Bit of a walk. We'll get there. Let's go. If you follow me a long time, you know I love acai, and it's been so hard to find in Athens despite the heat being like the perfect for acai. We found this one place which is on the main strip. It's called Happiness in a Bowl, and they make great acai. Highly recommend. I bought one acai on this trip, and I don't even know if you can call it acai. It was so far from it. This is the first legit acai I found that's like so good. Like, when it's 35 degrees outside, this is going to be where you want to be at.
So it's got mango, pineapple, it's got some banana in it, it's got almonds, chia seeds, coconut, like the whole lot. I'm excited. Oh, that's good. It's got so much pineapple. So
nice. You love pineapple?
Love.
We liked it. They were so good. Still the best acai in Greece. Daniel tried the matcha, which I tried because it was his choice. I'm not normally a matcha fan, but that was so good. It was like tangy but sweet and not too like matchery, but just enough that it's like really, really good. It was so good. Probably my favourite matcha product I've ever tried, because I'm not that big a fan of matcha. It always had pineapple taste to it. Very good, highly recommend. But also acai is like my one true love, so can't say no to that. Because we love this place so much, we also have 2 energy balls, which really lost it. One's blueberry and cacao, I think, and then one's matcha.
Cheers. Mushroom.
Tastes like cake. It's so good. I can't believe that's healthy for you. A bit spontaneous. Now we shall go to the Olympic Stadium thing. We have made it to the Panathenaic Stadium, which is probably pronounced wrong like everything else, but it was the first stadium that was for the modern Olympics. So they did ancient Olympics, which was in Olympia, which we've discussed, and then this was the modern Olympics, I think was the 1800s.
Yeah, 1894, I think.
Oh, you're good. As I said, the 1800s.
I think.
Give myself a good 100 years to be right in. They started here again, and then they started moving around the world, and each different country hosts. Much bigger. This is probably the biggest stadium we've actually been to, so that's really cool. And it's kind of half a theatre, half a stadium in terms of what we've seen before. They've mixed them together to make the ultimate like presentation zone. I wonder if the opening ceremony was here. Is that crazy?
Yeah, I think it would have been. I'm pretty sure it would have been.
I'll have to Google it, but I do know.
They ended the marathon at the 2004 Olympic Games here.
I know that the Amazing Race had a test here. They had to run around in a certain time. So that's my level of knowledge. Also, very unsurprisingly, that I like the Amazing Race. We walked all the way up. Full commitment on us because it is 33 degrees. And it's very steep, but the view is amazing. Whoever thought this was a good idea to make black was wrong. I can feel the heat like radiating off it. They were naked and they made it black.
And nudie.
They had special seats just for the royals, so we've decided we're worth it in royalty. And you have the perfect view. So included in your ticket is, for the €5, is a museum of all of the Olympic torches, which is so cool to go through time. They go, I think, right back to like 1958. No, 1936 is the earliest one, I think, isn't it?
I think I've got a poster from 1900.
Oh, they got posters.
Paris.
They got posters from everywhere,
torches
like right back. But the torches go back to 36. So we're picking out our favourites. I'm not biased, but Sydney's the best.
Sydney is the best.
Sydney,
cool.
Beijing, and then Seoul's Winter Olympics. All very good.
Very cool.
They win with the design.
Not to forget an epic walkway in.
Yeah, and a really cool tunnel to get in here, which was air conditioned, so this was really cool, and I didn't know it was a part of the tour, and it's definitely been like the most surprising thing of today.
See, this was a huge bucket list thing for me. I understand it's not on everyone's bucket list, but it's just amazing to be able to go where the athletes from 1896 performed, being able to walk through the chambers where they would have come out into the stadium, seeing the old torches, and you get all of it for €5. It's probably I would say it's one of the best value sites in Athens. So definitely worth the trip, worth the walk. You can catch a cab here, you can catch a tram maybe, or the hop on hop off bus. But many ways to get here, absolutely worth it.
Well, considering Acropolis was €20,
yeah, and this
is 5.
Yeah.
I think you enjoy this so much more.
I got more value.
On the way back to the main part of town is this massive park, and inside the big park is this building called the Zapio, and it has like beautiful gardens, a huge waterfall. Not too sure what it's used for. It says conference centre online, but we're not too sure if that's accurate. So we think today the hall is actually being used for the election, which is happening today, which is really interesting because Greece is the birthplace of democracy, and we're actually here when they get to like practice modern democracy. So very serendipitous, very cool. We didn't plan that, but either way, it's a really cool detour as you walk to the centre because it's a lot nicer than being on the roads. So let's go get some lunch. Vegan options are hard in Athens, but we found this one called Vegan Beans, and we managed to find a vegan gyros, which I've been looking for this whole trip. So I'm so excited. They look amazing. I'm just going to go with this one. That's really good. We've been substituting falafel in a lot of them. Not the same. This is so much better. That was the best meal we've had in Athens. I'm so sad that we found it on our last day, but 100% if you're vegan or vegetarian, go to Vegan Beats. It's in Plaka, which is like the tourist centre, so it's very easy to get to, and you just go upstairs. And yeah, 100% best meal ever. Now we're going to do some shopping. So last stop of the day is the Plaka district, which is like all these little alleys of different shops. There's some really nice restaurants, open air. You can come here day or night. We came here at night the other night and it was just as busy, if not busier to be honest, because it's so hot in the days. The night times tend to go off as well. You can buy any souvenir you want, food. They got fresh fruit, anything you would ever want here. I think there's even like more traditional sorts of H&M around. But we're going to spend the rest of our afternoon shopping around this area and then maybe go something to eat later on. That is the end of the video. I have definitely covered off everything to see and do in Athens in 24 hours because that is the time we've had here. So I'll end it now because we're going to go pick up our bags and head to the airport. So that's the end of my Greece adventures and my Athens adventures. It's had everything from beaches to ruins to vegan food, which I didn't think I'd get that. Not gonna lie, this heat is making me long for London. I look forward to it never getting above 20 degrees. But thank you so much for watching. Since this is the end of my Greece adventures, comment below and see if you can guess where I'm going next. I will pin whoever is correct at the top. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and then also subscribe so you can see my next adventures in, I can't say because that'll give it away.